right, we are on lesson 16. We are looking at context clues. We know that good readers use context clues all the time to figure out the meaning of unknown words. Let's take a look at a couple examples. So how can we use context clues? Well, sometimes you can look for a definition in the text. So sometimes when they give you an unfamiliar word, they might actually go on and just define it right there in the same or next sentence. Let's take a look at an example of this. In high school, Jim Lovell built his first rocket, a jet engine that could fly to great heights. Well, if you didn't know the meaning of the word rocket, take a look. They went on to give you the definition. It is a jet engine that could fly to great heights. You can also find an example that will give you clues about the word's meaning. So sometimes it's not defined for you, but sometimes they give you examples. For instance, Lovell's first attempt was a failure. So failure is the unknown word. His rocket flew into the air, but then exploded and crashed. Well, we know that if something explodes and crashes, that's not very good. That means it didn't work. So failure must mean that it does not work. Sometimes you can look for a restatement. A restatement happens when the word is discussed in a way that makes its meaning a little more clear. For example, a rocket is pushed upward by materials that are combustible. These materials burn and release gases. So what they've done is they've included this kind of tricky or unfamiliar word, combustible, but then what they've done is they've gone on to restate what this word means. They told you that it's made of materials that are combustible, and then they've said these materials burn and release gases. So this word must mean that there are materials that can burn and release gases. Our job today, we have a paragraph. We're going to read through it, look at some unfamiliar words, maybe some that you are familiar with, but we have to identify the context clues that helped us determine the meaning. So let's look here at the first sentence. Jim Lovell had always been fascinated by rockets. He was interested in learning everything about them and even built his own rocket. Wow, okay. So fascinated is the unknown word. So I'm going to box that in. And now I have to find some context clues. Well, he's always been fascinated by rockets. Then they go on to tell me he was interested in learning everything about them. Well, those are my context clues right there. He even built his own rocket. We might even circle this part. Even built his own rocket. Let's continue. Lovell applied to the United States Naval Academy but was rejected. So he applied but was rejected. And that's the unknown or unfamiliar word, and I need to find context clues to help me figure out what it means. After failing to get into the academy, Lovell did not give up. Well, failing to get in means that he didn't get in. So he applied, he was rejected, and he failed to get in. These are my context clues. This must mean then that he was not accepted. Let's read the last two sentences. He persisted or kept trying and finally succeeded. After the academy, he joined the NASA space program. Well, persisted, I'm not really sure what that word means, but let me keep reading. Or kept trying and finally succeeded. Oh, well, succeeded means that he finally got in, or kept trying and finally succeeded. So persisted must mean that he kept trying. It's kind of like they gave me the definition right here or restated it. So let's look. Now we have to figure out what is the meaning then of fascinated. Well, if he was interested in learning everything about them, I think we can agree that that means he's very interested in it. Fascinated means very interested in. And rejected, we said, well, he applied to this academy, he was rejected, and then it said after failing to get into the academy. So rejected must mean that he was turned down or not accepted. And then the last word, he persisted or kept trying. They kind of gave us the meaning right here. Kept trying. Okay. Today you have 4 examples. You have a paragraph you're going to read, and you have to look at maybe some unfamiliar words and determine the meaning based on the clues that you read here in this short text. Let me know if you have any questions about your work today.